Hello guys, good evening. Today is November 2nd, another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Before I start guys, tomorrow I'm doing a big webinar, very important and deep dive webinar on how to trade the open for our Tenet community members. So if you're still not part of the community and you want to learn and join, feel free to join. The link should be up or in the description. All right, so let's get back to our trades. So about this webinar, I'm going to go through the complete process that you see me every day on my recaps, right? Preparing the open, understanding the gaps and the behaviors, what is an amateur move, what is a trend move, daily charts and their impact, risk management, sizing, trading the opening bell, and different gap setups, gap downs and gap ups. So anyways, just wanted to point it out, show everyone. Now let's get back to our trades. So another decent day guys. The Roku was best trade of the day, which really made our day. It never changed the bias. We'll go more detail, but there's a lot to learn in a Roku trade today. So we'll talk about our Roku huge win for the day. We'll discuss that. We'll go through how the short long was good for all day. We'll talk about AI, nice trade by Win. We'll talk about a loser in MELI, MELI. We were trying to trade the lotos there. We'll discuss the pins, finally pins breakout today. SEDG trade that I missed. SMCI short in the community that I personally missed, but we'll discuss that. We'll discuss the SMCI midday reversal, which was decent risk reward on B minus. We'll talk about Qualcomm failed trade idea. Talk about why we were not long ABNB or PayPal in the community today, why it was a short setup and not a long setup. We'll talk about DoorDash and we'll discuss Starbucks versus 100 as well. There was a lot of names on watch list today guys. As you see, there's a watch list was big. So the key today was to stick with few trades, the ones you like, right? So I shared a lot of ideas, but it's up to you to figure out which trade was good for you. I focused heavily on Roku because I know the history of Roku. So my trade was Roku, and yes, and we traded Tesla as well. I will talk about Tesla. So Roku, Tesla, Shop were my main ones. I did trade MELI as well, but I lost there, but that's fine. So as you see, so this was our watch list. There was a lot of opportunities, a lot of plays. If you were in the right stocks, the long buy stocks, you did good. So as always, I come up every day, every morning, 45 minutes before the market opens. I go through the bunch of news outlets, bunch of news services, pre-market movers, 1, 2, 3, and then I consolidate and make my watch list. I split it into the news plays, market indicators, and market plays, and then I create my levels for my community. I create those levels, support, resistance, pivot levels, and then we make a plan based upon wicks. As you see, there was a pre-market planning on Roku, which I'll go through in a minute, and then was there planning on Tesla, Shop, Starbucks, PayPal, SCDG versus 56, but it pushed already at open, so we'll talk about SCDG as well. Then why Myrna was bearish on Pops and Affirm and PLTR and a bunch of other names. We'll go through and discuss everything, and a lot to learn today. All right, guys, let's start with our biggest trade of the day, Roku. So this trade, Roku, there was some, how we were traded at open, we had to adjust the buys few times, and I will discuss that. So Roku, as the market opened, the plan was simple. The levels were 70 and 68.70. 68.70 was this low of the pre-market. So as long 72 was the breakout, this was, if it broke this was a gap fill trade for us under this level of 69 area, right? So as soon as the market opened, I said Roku scalp long versus EMA Cloud. So what does that mean when I say scalp long versus EMA Cloud? That means if I'm scalping long here, my risk is here. And this is what I will discuss in my webinar tomorrow about the sizing, go more in detail. But the point is you always start with the smaller size. So I started a smaller size. On Roku, and it gave me a big wick. So then then I had to decide that is it still a long or not. And then it was dipping here. So it was dipping. So I closed my that long, and then I tried to position myself in case I see a candle down. Right. So as you see, in 2 minutes I saw that it's failing a pre-market breakout. You can read my comments here that Roku is failing the pre-market breakout. So you can read it here. So Roku was failing the pre-market breakout that I talked about. One second, if I can show you guys. You see, failing the pre-market breakout. So that's why I was, I said I will cut long and I will turn short if it keeps failing. And I did actually cut the long, and I was looking for a starter short here if it fades there. But next thing I saw, it held this level. What was my pre-market plan? That's the other thing. This is for few people in community which are new. You have to follow the plan. You don't have to follow me or somebody else. You have to understand the overall process. And your risk reward, your position sizing is different, right? I can maneuver quickly, and I did show people my option trades as well in the community, that how I pivot. And then I noticed, okay, I'm building a bearish bias, but it's still holding the EMA clouds. You can see right here, still holding the EMA clouds. EMA clouds for bullish bias did not confirm the bearish bias. Let's see if it can push back in the long side versus 69 risk. I was back in the long side when I saw that this third candle right here started, and once it broke 72, I went into big size. I went to big size, and then long started working, right? Then we broke out of the 10 a.m. the opening highs. We broke out of it, and then I said, now hold, let the breakout work. First target 74, 73 calls went 100%. Next target 76, 73 calls went 150%. We locked some at 77, then we held 1/3 or 1/4 for 78 target. Then my 78 target met. So what was it? Always a bullish, never bearish. Yes, I adjusted, but how did you adjust? Were you blindly following me? Oh, Rip is going long, Rip is going long, going short, I am going long. Imagine you went long with me and then you went short with me, and then you lost on both and you moved out for the day. And I ended up making a huge win. So that's why you find your conviction, you understand the system. And we ended up making huge on it, right? If I show you, I even had I showed how I loaded up on the options 20 30. I was loaded at 45 contracts. That went like the contracts that I loaded went over 100-150%. I started scaling way before, but this was my averaging up once I started to break out, right? I easily made 3-4 grand in just this one move, and the whole day I let the rest of it ride. So that's how you make those 5-figure trades, to let your options runs. The options on Roku by the end of the day was 400% up to $5. So this is how you trade and hold. And other thing, guys, I know Roku because I had traded it before in the last earnings. And let me show you something, right? So I did, if I show you, let me show you, I did even tweet about this setup on Roku. So if you see, okay, let's see, let's look at it. So if you look here, so in the morning I said flagging, showing relative strength, because I was long and I knew that there's no short. Shorts were never a short under this level, and that was in the morning, and this is now. After 9 points afterwards, $9 a share, $7 a share if you take this tweet. So the point is, this is how you win, and I have thousands of these before and after. And you have to find that conviction. You have to be reason of your success, not me or not the alerts. But anyways, I'm very proud of a lot of people who executed really good way. I know somebody who was short, he turned bullish, he ended up making 300%. The whole community was green. Very proud of it, but I did want to tell everybody to this is how to manage the trades. All right, guys, let's move to our next trade. So if you remember, yesterday I in the community I said it's a good overnight because of this daily chart. There was a hammer on daily. There was a hammer on daily. Held 200. I talked about you can risk $5 to 205. Your risk is still that. A nice gap up for those in the community. Right. Then I was neutral bias when the market opened. Right. 215 was the key, and I said, you know, pull back to the EMA clouds. It can pull back. You can scalp. And when it held the EMA clouds, it started to break out. Breaking out, watch out. And I gave the the long on the voice that is still holding trend. 219 is the target I gave. 219 was my whole day target. Slow and steady. It was frustrating. It was slow mover. It was not that crazy move, right? And then finally when it met our target, we started, when I first started, it was 215 to 219, 4 points, end of the day. Wanted 220, but we didn't get it. But when it started to break this trend, then I was out. So nice idea, but you have to execute it. So let's move to next one. So let's look at MELI. So MELI always makes crazy moves. You know, I'm used to it making crazy moves. So I was interested in lotos because if you take one lotto of $1,000, $2,000, they go sometime to 15,000, 10,000. They go like, it really moves crazy, right? For example, 30-50 lotto was, I have to check how much it was in the morning, but it was spready. And then when it, so 1350 lotos were like 4,000 at the open. They went to like 6,000, but they were spready. So definitely this is not a trade for a small account. But nevertheless, I tried that, maybe I could get some. It pushed from 1350s, even the spread is like $3-4 there, and pushed to 1392s. I was holding, but then it break 512. Then I had to take a loss and I moved on. So little loser, nothing crazy. Let's move to the next one. So shop plan was simple. Risk was 54 and we were bullish to neutral in the pre-market. If you see, I saw it was giving up the pre-market highs, right? So I did not do that mistake of chasing here. But when it finally started to re-break out of the pre-market highs, this level, that's when I said, it's good for long scalps. Then you risk 56. So it ended up turning to be 2 risk to 2 reward trade. And it never really broke the trend all day. If you see, it held this level and at this level, and then there was a seller at 60 all day. Now we'll watch on the 60 breakout tomorrow. But it was a decent small win, right, on shop. I wanted to see if 60 could break. When 60 finally didn't break, I got out here, right? So we logged initially. We were already in this first push, was locking 1/3, and then final push didn't break out. We locked out all. So you can see the guidance here. That was the shop. SEDG, I had a plan, but I missed it personally at the morning push. Because I talked about on the Twitter yesterday how it was still valuation. It was making 4 billion a year, but it was still valued at 3 billion in pre-market yesterday. Since I said that, it was already gapping up, and then I wanted to to trade it, see what it does, and then I didn't get time, right? Maybe somebody did, but that was a nice push from at open over EMA clouds. You could scalp it, like 10 points here. So that was the one. It was just an idea. I did not execute, but then it held the trend. If somebody took it. So it was a good idea, not an A+, but still decent. All right, next one. So I want to talk about Airbnb a bit. Like, why was Airbnb not along today, right? So let me talk about it. So I had a bullish bias at open, only if versus 199 or 118. Then as soon as I saw it fading under 119 level, you see I already marked these two levels, 119 and 18. I had no interest. It was heavy, it could fill the gap, you know, it was not a long, just short. If it pushed to 120s, you just short it, right? So look, when I said that, even when I said that, every time it popped, faded, 4 points. Popped, what did I say? Popped towards 120, faded, again back to 115, right? So it was only a very short play, right? Nothing else versus this resistance. And that idea, short idea, was working. So PayPal was also like Airbnb, right? I was only interested if 5430 held, otherwise gap fill or a pre-market breakout. But when it does this, I have no interest. Filling the gap down, I have no interest. You know, if you see, when I said that, it already big flush, then another flush, then it flushed almost another $1.50, right? It was heavy. So no longs there. Even if it bounced, I had no interest because there were better plays which were bouncing A plus setups. Why do I want to bounce something which is against my system? It might be good for you, but not for me. So if you trade your system, but my system, I save money avoiding such plays and not going long PayPal. I avoided the pain rather than adding and try to get the B minus bounce setup. Yes, it did bounce B minus, maybe this support, but it was not an A plus setup. Not every time you're going to get it. Yes, sometimes you will get it. But I did not want to do this risk for this tiny reward. So that was no go for me. Alright guys, the next one we are going to look at is SMCI. So guys, SMCI, I had the plan for SMCI. I was going to do something, but I missed it. I did not even see it because there are so many plays where that's what happens. When there's so many plays, you cannot focus. You just have to focus on one or two. You know, if I could have just focused on ROKU and SMCI. But again, I have my community, I have to take care of everyone. So, you know, I'm busy there as well. So let's see what was my plan. I was bullish to neutral, but it was already giving up the clouds. Look what I said, already giving up the clouds. And then it was fading under the clouds even after the market open. Right? When I said it was under the clouds, so you take short here, you risk here, you risk $3-4 and you made $30. Even if you risk $5, look, you know, that's why I like SMCI. It has such a good range, it makes such a good moves that from this break of pre-market support 259, it went $30. Imagine the puts, right? 250, 45 puts went 700%. Even when I said it's fading under the cloud, even after I was saying at you know, what was the right here, the 248, it still faded 20 points since I said that. You know, and I know many people executed it very, very well, and I'm proud of that. But anyways, I got a piece of SMCI later in the day for my B minus bounce setup. You're going to ask, hey Rip, you don't long these setups. Why did you long? Yeah, I long when I see some conviction. I saw this. What did I see? I saw higher lows. Higher lows. That's why long here, risk 235. You see, B mono setup turning over 512. My system is telling me it's going green right here. I risk some points here. I risk, how much did I risk? I risked $3. How much did it go? $15. From 236 to 49. So I one risk to 2.5 reward. So SMCI, beautiful trade today. You know, this could really have done well, but we don't cry about missed opportunity. We move forward. We look for next opportunity, and we do make sure we are ready for next one. All right, let's look at the next. So this next play is all credit to our friend Vin, who is such a nice trader, who finds those sneaky movers that nobody looks at. And look at that, AI. So Win found AI because, many reasons. AMD pushed on AI, and then many reasons. And then it pushed over all day. When Win found it early in the morning from 2560s, it pushed to this daily level. Beautiful trade, beautiful opportunity, beautiful trade. Very proud of Win. So nice one. I still on watch AI, guys, by the way, swing watch. We'll see over the 2750 level if it triggers. So Starbucks was another losing idea today, guys. So Starbucks was a losing idea. So my point was, if it breaks under the 100, then you could short the Starbucks. But again, it never confirmed it, right? So it never confirmed it. It bounced right away. So you position yourself with the starter, and when it's not confirming the break, you get out. So Starbucks was a loser idea. Let's look to the next one. So Qualcomm tried at open to long it, but then it failed, so had to cut it for a loss. So had to cut it for a loss. Was looking for the pre-market breakout, and it never came, and then that's why it faded on us. But anyways, very focused on Roku, so didn't let it damage too much. So that was Qualcomm. Let's look at the next one. So for the Dash, plan was simple pre-market, guys. I like it. It's bullish. The key breakout was this pre-market high breakout of 87, and then it pushed to 90 bucks, right? So if you see, I said all day I was talking about Shop, Dash, Roku. They're all good long names, right? So Dash was a good setup. Not my personal trade, but the idea worked out perfectly. When it works, you hold. When it doesn't work, you cut quick. That's the plan, guys. That is what you need to do. When something doesn't work, cut quick. Don't stick to it. So Meta, my idea was heavy because it was breaking our EMA Cloud and the support. It was heavy, and it was all day weakness. Since that heaviness, you could have shorted it 313s, it gave you 308s, all day 512 EMA Cloud trend, right? So that was the idea, right at open. So you always keep eyes. There was so many setups, guys, but like I said, my big winners were Roku, Tesla, Shop, but not these others that I missed. But again, it's all about finding the ideas and executing the best setups you like. There was reason Roku was on top of my watch list here, and DoorDash and Tesla and Shop, right? So that was the reason they were on the top. So alright, guys, let's get into the market analysis now. What is the market analysis? What happens to the market tomorrow? So the reason the market was going crazy today, guys, there was a main reason was it was because of the yields, right? You see the 10-year yields and 30-year yields. For first time, 10-year yields and 30-year yields broke down from 5 level. There was a big flush. It was a big flush. That's why market is strong, and that's why you saw when the yields go down, it impacts mostly the growing stocks, right, which need cash and which need loan and the money. So they are the ones, and that's why IWM was up today. Of course, VIX was down too, right? VIX is also in a calm area, in a bullish area where markets is bullish. So everything pointed towards a big move. I even tweeted about it that today we can keep pushing. We can keep pushing. If you want to see my SPY trade, look what I said. I said SPY flagging 428. My SPY alert was 428 flag breakout, and after that all day push. And I said because of the VIX weakness or yields weakness, we can keep pushing, and that's why happened. The overall macro environment. Now we see Apple is tanking after the earnings, but overall environment is decent. So if Apple pushes tomorrow, if Apple bounces tomorrow, then it's going to push the whole market. And as long as VIX stays under 16, we should be fine. US dollar still needs to fade to help the market push. So very important day tomorrow, guys, but whatever happens, we will nail it. If you want to trade with me, come to my community. Come for community, lot of tools. I added a brand new tool today of breaking news right on the trading floor. And do not come for alerts, please. Come for education, come for a community, a family, and we'll trade together. All right, guys, see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.